Hi everybody. I'm making this video because, as you know, I never had a thought I didn't post, and this would have been too much writing. And I hope you listen to the video because, as a matter of fact, I don't usually listen to all the videos. It's like blah blah blah. What's the point? But this is important. I feel like I have to tell somebody because I want to help somebody like I got help today. So, my family has been through quite a bit, probably more than the average family. Uh, Addiction has blazed a hole through my family. Sex abuse, child sex abuse, divorce, lack, struggle, mental illness. I was sitting there yesterday and I'm like, my God, we're like the blue collar Kennedys. And I don't understand it. So, about a month ago, my nephew, who is 10, this is my brother's child, he's been battling neuroblastoma cancer since he was 3. So he was in and out of treatments and this and that, but everything was okay. It was kind of okay. Everything was working. He had about a year of clear scans, and he had a scan that showed the cancer had returned to his spine. So he went to Sloan Kettering, and they put him on an experimental treatment. And 2 weeks later, he had 2 new spots of cancer. So then he went to CHOP in Philadelphia, and they came up with this whole treatment plan with radioactive materials being implanted in his body. It's experimental as well, but they felt that would give him the best shot. And part of the plan involved him getting transfusions of his own stem cells in another hospital. When they called to get a stem cell shipped, they're like, "Oh, we don't have them anymore. They're gone." So because of that, they had to go to the second choice for treatment. The second choice for experimental treatment. So I knew that he'd been sick, but I didn't find out the details of the story till yesterday morning. And like a little seed of like fear came in. And then it just grew throughout the day. And I started getting really scared. And then I had to speak to someone in my family, someone I love very much. My children love her as well. She's 38 years old, and a year ago she started developing serious mental illness. She has a 3-year-old child. A whole bunch of shenanigans happened, and she was put in the psych hospital. Her mother, who has been a very good friend to me and a great person to my children, I was talking to her, and she's just overwhelmed with the situation. She's not young anymore, and she doesn't know how to deal with it, and they're not in New York, and I can't go. And I was sick at my stomach yesterday because I just was so frightened and so upset. And then at the end of the day yesterday, I found out through a bunch of complicated stories that aren't interesting, there's going to be some restructuring at my job, and it looks like my income's going to be cut in half. That's pretty terrifying, especially in New York, right? You need your money. And if that happens, I got no idea what I'm going to do. So, honestly, I was sick at my stomach. You get news sometimes, and it's aggravating, or it makes you angry, or it even like puts you in the dumps for a little bit, and you got to call 12 people. And this was like so bad. As really bad news is, you think something's going to happen and you're worried about something, and that never turns out to be a problem. The real bad deals are the ones where you're on your break at lunch and you're thinking about, do you want Chick-fil-A or Taco Bell, and you get a call and your whole world turns upside down. And the reason I know that is because it's happened to me several times. Your whole life changes. So I know a few things about attacks from Satan and things changing your whole life forever and ever and ever. And it isn't really me as much. I don't worry about myself, but it's other people that I love very much, and I'm afraid for them. About a month ago, I had 3 masses on my thyroid, and I wasn't even scared. I didn't care, because you know why? I'll tell you why. I've been through quite a bit in my life, including lurching around North Philadelphia in a heroin addiction, sick as a dog, manipulating life every day, living in an abandoned home, so sick. I had hepatitis C. I was yellow. When I got to rehab, the doctors looked at my labs and they said, your body's been digesting itself. I mean, like, food, please. I have $10. I know what I have to do with it. So what I'm saying is I've suffered a great deal. And at that time, I was so far removed from God and so far removed from my own self that nothing could be worse than that. So if I got cancer right now, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm either going up or I'm going to live through it. My son was like, Mom, are you scared? And I gave him that line from the Bible. I said, children of Jerusalem, weep not for me, weep for yourselves, because y'all going to be deprived of my presence if I died. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I'm not scared about stuff for myself, but I am really scared for other people, my family, and helpless. So I'm sitting here last night. I don't know if you can see. Whenever I have big issues or problems, I try to write it all out on my whiteboard and thoughts and ideas. And I'm sitting here last night thinking about all this stuff, and I'm saying, I wish I had a rabbi. I wish I had a rabbi. You know, in business, you're supposed to have a rabbi to advise you and help you through the dark times and make the smartest moves. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait a minute. I do have a rabbi, and his name is the Rabbi, Jesus Christ. And I don't know if you could see it, but as I was sitting here plotting and planning, I wrote right across the bottom. I made a big bracket, and I wrote, you tell me, Lord, because it's obvious. I got nothing. So I made up my mind last night. I'm not going to be tortured with fear. Like, what do I believe? The devil's attacked my family long enough. Why would I side with him? I'm going to go with what God says about me, what God says about my life. God gives us authority. God says, speak to the mountain and you can move it. God is my rock and my fortress, my ever-present help in times of trouble. And I started playing a lot of music last night, loud. Songs like, Oh My Soul, No Longer Slaves by Fathom Blue. Do It Again. This is how I fight my battles, of course. It Is Well, Who You Say I Am, We Believe, Soul on Fire. And I'm blasting this music last night, and I'm like, devil, get out. Get out of here. You're not part of this. I'm going to believe what God says about me. I'm going to believe what God says about his people. So I'm in the shower this morning and I'm singing, Death Could Not Hold You, and I go to church. And the first song that I heard, was Freedom. And the words to it were pretty, like hitting the nail on the mark, run into wide open spaces, grace is waiting for you. I felt like tears coming down my face. I was like, I hear you, God. Thank you. Okay, great. I got you. Thanks for calling me. That's what I honestly felt like. Danced like the weight has been lifted, and the weight was lifted. I don't know if you saw me at church today, but I was acting a fool. I was just so happy and singing and like, yes, 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 everything I believed. You know, I'm on the right track. You know, that's a great feeling when you get that notification that, yes, you're doing the right thing. Praise the Hallelujah song. Great song. I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. Louder than unbelief. Death is defeated. The King is alive. Oh my God, I was overwhelmed. And then of course the song that I was just singing at home about I am who you say I am, which is playing right now. I've been in my books all day writing down verses and saying them out loud, and I'm getting out on my Joyce Meyer praise battle warrior cries. I found out about 6 months ago that nothing makes me happier than going into battle. I really enjoy it. Not fighting people, but fighting injustice, fighting loneliness, helping people and going into battle for it. I'll do it in a second. I went to church today with a cross around my neck, 2 cross bracelets on. I even wore my arrows, which I really like. And if you see, I pointed them both up to heaven because that's where my eyes are going to be. So what I'm trying to say is, everybody has troubles. Everybody has problems. I'm not saying that it's a weakness to ask people for prayer for you, but I felt like if I call up Pastor Julie, call up Pastor Moses, this is what I really wanted to do. Put on V1, the Facebook page. Please pray for me. This happened, that happened, that happened. I felt like I was undercutting. I had the rig that I was going to call you to. I was undercutting what the words that come out of my mouth every week, which is God is on the throne. God is in charge. Satan can flee 7 ways. So I didn't do that. Instead, I started blasting praise music, pulling thoughts out of the Bible. I made a list. God is my refuge and strength and ever-present help, my rock, my fortress, my deliverer, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah Rophi, which is the healer, tower of strength, provider, great physician, author and finisher, my shield, my deliverer, my hiding place and stronghold. And I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm going with. And whatever's going to be is going to be. But whatever it is, I will be with the Lord, and He will be by my side. I'd rather go through hell with Jesus at my side than never have a problem in the world and just have myself. That's worse. I hope that this could help somebody else. I want to thank the worship team. You probably don't realize sometimes when you're playing songs, it's like life-changing for people in the audience. And today was a good day. See? So, I'll see what happens. Have a good night.